So we're coming off a hot week on Wall Street, guys, and pretty much every index hit all-time highs except for the NASDAQ, which, guys, the NASDAQ is right there. It's a stone's throw away from all-time highs, and despite us being in a hot market, there are still many stocks that are oversold, and we have to break down 5 in particular in this video. Some of them reported earnings already. One of them has earnings, I'm pretty sure, this upcoming week. So, guys, we have a lot to break down. Earnings, charts, what I'm doing, and overall where my head's at in this market, which has been insane, right, guys? So hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, join my Patreon if you want to keep up with my actual portfolio updates, trades, investments, and if you want to be a part of my private Discord community, it's all linked down below, pinned in the comments, in the description box, in the bio. You guys will find it. So again, we're coming off of a hot week for stocks. The S&P's breaking out. Looking at SPY, we hit all-time highs. Same with the Dow Jones. You guys probably remember the Dow hit 7? Yeah, we hit 54,700, completely breaking out. Same with the Russell, all-time highs at 3,048, also breaking out. And the Qs are right there. We're a stone's throw away as we're trading at 723 and the all-time high 748 from back in the beginning of June. And the Qs aren't 100% breaking out yet. Keyword is yet. We're actually trading above the moving averages for the first time here in a little bit, but we still are in this channel technically. So for this to cleanly break out and start going to all-time highs, we got to take out 730, 735. And look, we're about 2-3% percentage points away. That is one massive green day away from all-time highs. Again, we're right there. We're right there. So with that being said, again, there are a lot of stocks right now that are still beaten up, even though the main the major indexes or indices in the United States are all trading near highs, right? So the first stock here is Robinhood, ticker HOOD, which if you guys listen to the call, obviously Robinhood is probably the most, innovative financial platform in 2026. That's the reality when it comes to at least trading, maybe not so much on, the personal finance side of things, although they are starting to get there. Either way, when it comes to investing, trading, innovative products, right? They're crushing it right now. And that's with crypto getting destroyed, which is a decent part of their business. And like I've said before, that's going to be a tailwind whenever crypto does pick back up. Bitcoin, Ethereum, the trading volumes, that's going to be a tailwind for Robinhood. So they're constantly adding $100 million ARR businesses on top of their business, right? They're creating all these incredible products, right, that are resonating with consumers. And the stock, well, it broke out recently to $120. And full disclosure, I'm actually long Robinhood. I got in 2 quarters ago when the stock got down to $70. I started buying, so I'm long. And the stock got all the way to $120 just about a month, 3 weeks ago. And then it saw another big drawdown. This is an opportunity, in my opinion, for a company that, again, is crushing it on all cylinders for the most part. Obviously, there are weak points, again, like crypto, which will be a tailwind, right, in the future. They're crushing it, though. And the stock's down after reporting great numbers, record numbers, not across the board. Again, they're struggling in crypto, but they're doing very well, to say the least. And the stock's down, you know what I mean, with guidance that was pretty good. And I love the way they handled the Q&A, all that stuff in the earnings call, which we're not going to get too deep into in this video. But Robinhood's doing well. And at this point, the chart looks pretty healthy. It seems like a similar pullback to when I first got in, before I first got in, the stock hit 93. And I'm like, crap, I wanted to get into Robinhood before that. I wanted to get in before that. And I didn't get in the 60s. Then it started running for me, and I was like, oh, man. And then they reported earnings. The stock tanked. And then, boom, I pounced on that. That was my opportunity, and I've been long since. And this pullback reminds me of that. We got a bit overbought to about 120, similar to what we saw here when we got to 95. That was pretty overbought at the time. And now we've shaken out some weak hands, the deleveraging in the system, right? We saw the unwind in a lot of these AI stocks, which, I mean, inadvertently probably affected Robinhood a little bit. Either way, now we're starting to stabilize. We're putting in a higher low. I like it. I'm looking to add some more here, and I'm holding on to my, to my position, and I'm looking to add more at some point here in the next couple of days, potentially. I'll keep you guys updated. And this is not financial advice. This is what I'm doing. Do your own research as always. So that's Robinhood. Alphabet is another one that I'm looking to dump a good amount of money into pretty soon here, which I've been long Alphabet for years. You guys know that. And the stock's getting pretty oversold in the short term after we got news of their chief scientist. They're one of their top guys. He's stepping down, Jeff Dean, right? So we saw that a couple days ago. Let's see if we can even see that on the live news. No, we can't. But that caused the stock to dump from 380 down to about, it got down to 355 that day. I actually bought some that day at 363, just a very small amount, nothing crazy. I nibbled some, and now I'm looking to pile in even more if this thing starts going under 350, back to the low mid 300s. Oh yeah, I'm going to be buying some Alphabet, especially my one portfolio, which is actually my Patreon portfolio. I got assigned on my Amazon calls that I sold, so I let those get assigned. The math worked out better that way. Instead of me going out and buying the calls back, keeping the shares, the math worked out. So I got my, I sold out of Amazon. Now I have a good chunk of cash, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this cash? Things are going through my mind. They have been for the last 2 weeks, as I kind of realized that, or really the last week, that I realized Amazon's going to get assigned. So I'm looking to either put a good chunk of that money into Google, maybe all that money into Google, or I'm considering, again, adding a little more Robinhood here, sprinkling that money into Robinhood, or I might add some stock or maybe options in the last stock in the video today. I'm not trying to keep you guys till the end. This is not like a retention tactic. It happens to be the last stock on the video. But yeah, I got assigned on Amazon. And at this point, I have a good amount of cash, and Alphabet might be the one I pile into here in the low mid 300s. I kind of want it to come lower for obvious reasons so I can get a better buy. I think it's going to be a $400 plus stock. Alphabet has always been a high conviction play for me, and it's genuinely one of those stocks that I'm never going to sell, or I'm not planning on selling anytime soon. I guess you can never say never. But looking to buy more Alphabet on this overreaction news, and Rocket Lab potentially here for a trade. Rocket Lab I'm looking at for a shorter term trade. Rocket Lab's exploding. This thing hit $80 on Friday. We closed at 83 actually. This thing's starting to take out the moving averages on the 4 hour. And even though it's seen a decent run off the lows, we're still nowhere near where I think it could go, and where it was recently. We hit $90, $100 back in, the early days of July, and I've been saying this for a while. I think the space trade is going to see another run. I don't think it's over just yet. At least for 2026, I don't think it's over, and I've been saying this. And we're starting to get it. And I'm not long Rocket Lab right now, which, by the way, earnings are on the 10th. So they're on, Monday? So Monday after the bell, we're getting earnings from Rocket Lab. I'm not long this stock, but I am long Redwire, which you guys know that, ticker RDW. Much smaller company, and I'm in $10 calls that expire in January, and those are printing now. This stock's going nuts. So I am long the space sector via one stock right now, and I've been saying I think we're due for a big run, and we're starting to get it, and I think we could be going higher. I think Redwire goes to 15. It might take 15 out, to be honest. That's what I'm expecting here in the next couple of weeks, maybe month, 2-3 months. So I'm watching Redwire, obviously. Rocket Lab, going back to Rocket Lab, This thing looks like it's poised to go to 90 to 100. Earnings, again, are on Monday, and analysts have them doing -8 cents, so they're going to lose 8 cents versus the loss of 13 cents from last year. That's for EPS. And revenue, they're expecting $230 million versus $145.5 million from last year. That would be up around 60% on the top line year over year. Not bad, man. Not bad. And again, it's already up a good chunk off the lows, but these are not regular old stocks. These stocks could rip a lot more than you think. So even though Rocket Lab is up 50% off the lows, whatever it is, 45%, even though Redwire is up 75% off the lows, maybe even more at this point, it could still go up even more. Yeah, Redwire is up 80% off the lows. These stocks could still go. But of course, trade at your own risk. And full disclosure, yeah, I am long Redwire via calls, but it literally makes up 1 to 2% of my that positions in the Patreon portfolio. So a very small amount of the portfolio that could potentially do very well. That's the idea with that trade. A smaller bet with options that could end up turning out pretty nicely without taking a huge amount of risk. So that's Rocket Lab. Quick little breakdown there, and Redwire for that matter. And by the way, guys, if you haven't yet subscribed, if you haven't yet hit the follow button, make sure to do that. We're trying to get to 100,000 subs on YouTube. 150,000 followers on TikTok, 100,000 followers on Facebook. I appreciate all of you for tuning in, as always. Moderna. I can't remember the last time I talked about Moderna, guys. Ticker mRNA. But this stock looks pretty good. The charts look pretty good. We're maintaining an uptrend. They reported earnings. The stock popped 10% on Friday, and I think this momentum could continue. So Moderna, let me see if I could pull the earnings up. They just came out recently, a couple days ago. They reported EPS of, let's see, they lost $1.97. That beat the loss of $2.10 expected on sales of $145 million versus $103 million. So double beat out of Moderna. Pretty good. Let's see, anything on guidance. They see 2026 cash balance and 2026 cash balance of $4.7 to $5.2 billion. Not bad. So to be honest, guys, this is just a continuation play. Forget the fundamentals, even though they just double beat. Forget the fundamentals. This is a chart play, right? It's a chart play. I think if this could take out $61, this could be a breakout. This stock's been struggling at $60, $61 all year, other than that one-off rip to 85, and I think if it does break out of 61 here, we could see some juice. We could see some legs in this trade, and we could be going higher on Moderna. And now, Uber, ticker UBER. This is the one that I mentioned earlier in the video. I might put some money into Uber. Not a crazy amount. I'm not looking to buy hundreds of shares here. That's not what I'm looking to do. I might buy calls, though. I might buy 1 to 2 year out calls, some leaps, if you will. Yeah, they're called leaps. I mean, whatever they're freaking called. You know what I'm talking about, right? I might buy some calls that are a little longer dated, right? So then, well, I can get advantage, take advantage of the share price appreciating without putting too much capital at risk. Again, I don't want to put a ton of money here, but I do want to get some exposure. But then again, with calls, it might be a little risky considering this stock's been flat for a while. What if it's flat for another 6 months? Theta is going to eat away at the calls I buy. So shares might benefit there, or might be a better play there if you're willing to sit on them. But then again, I don't want to put much at risk dollar-wise. But Uber reported pretty decent earnings, and I made a post about this in the Discord. So at this point, guys, people are underestimating, their ability when it comes to being the platform for robotaxi. People are thinking, oh, Tesla's going to have an app. They're going to have their own platform, Waymo, this company, that company, but people aren't realizing that Uber is going to be the play when it comes down to being the platform for all these different robo-taxi networks to be hosted on, essentially. That's one angle that the bulls look at. And the bears don't see that, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to get into that argument. But Uber, ultimately, I think that's going to be the play. That's very possible here. And if you look at what a lot of these politicians are doing, I saw a post on X, I think it was, a lot of politicians are in Uber stock. They've been piling in over the last couple of months, all year, and that's not a sign to just go buy the stock. I mean, obviously, politicians buy stocks that don't do well sometimes. They're not wizards. I mean, look, they're not, but I think Trump actually bought some Uber. So in that case, maybe we should buy some Uber. But, it's one of those stocks that ultimately, if we get a regulatory approval, if we get a huge signing, if a bunch of robo-taxis start coming online, if we get this passed in legislation or that passes Congress, right? Whatever it may be, that could cause Uber to go boom like that. And I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I want exposure to that. And I think call options is probably the best way to go for me. 2 years out, maybe a year and a half, 3 years, who knows? We'll see. I got to look at the option chain. But for now, that's where my head's at. And I already own Tesla as a, direct play in this robo-taxi FSD world. So I own Tesla for part of that. And I think Uber is almost a good hedge. Not even a hedge against Tesla. Maybe you could look at it that way, but if it doesn't go 100% in Tesla's favor or Waymo's favor, I think it's going to be a category that has a lot of players, FSD, Robotaxi. I think Uber is going to really benefit from that angle. Either way, I think we're going into a world where FSD dominates. Robotaxi is going to be everywhere, right? And I think owning Uber is a way to play that entire wave, if you will, and Tesla's a more concentrated way to play it. Either way, I want exposure to both. So with that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. We're rambling a little bit. We're 17 minutes in. We got to wrap the video up. Hit the like button, subscribe, join my Patreon, pinned in the comments, in the description, in the bio. You guys know where to find it. I'll see you there. Have a great rest of your day.